Great success story with Outback, but was it always easy? Was it something that just you hit it right at exactly
Yeah.
the right moment? You had exactly the right people working with you, and you had this huge insight about big bold flavors. Or did you ever have your back against the wall? Were there ever moments where you had some doubt as to were you going to be as successful as Outback turned
Yeah,
out to be?
I don't think you achieve great success without having your back flat up against the wall and you're really nervous and you're scared. And that's kind of the life of entrepreneurs.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, when I had the idea of and I left a restaurant company where Al Copeland, who was the head of Popeyes and a great success story himself, and he didn't want me to leave, and I had some debt. I had tried to do a restaurant in New Orleans, the World's Fair, incurred a $250,000 loan at 18% interest rates. Extraordinary. And the only way I saw out was to get an equity position in a restaurant to really make some money besides the salary. So I went to Al, and I said to Al, Al, I got all these problems. I got this debt. And he said, well, here's a blank check. Fill this out for all of your debt and for any kind of extra money you want. And let's put an end to this discussion about equity. And I looked at that blank check, and it was a real moment of truth in my life. I looked at that check and I said, with a 10-second filling this check out, I can end all my current financial needs. And I just ripped up the check right in front of him and says, it's not for me, Al. I want to earn my money with a partner. That was a real important part of my life, is to know that I'm earning. And the neat thing about Outback is all of our partners, Bob and Chris, we all blame each other for our success. That's a wonderful thing, is that Tim's the reason why we're successful. And certainly I arrived in Tampa with Bob and Chris with $37 is what I had in my pocket when I got there. I sold a saddle for gas money to get to Tampa and arrived there. And I lived with one of my partners for 6 months in his house. And when we opened Outback in the early days, in the first couple of months, it was, we were calling people up on the phone to ask them to come in. It wasn't an overnight hit. We opened up in Tampa. We didn't have a big advertising budget. We didn't have a lot of marketing dollars to spend. And it was very, very uphill and very dark. But there was something about my desire that this was my chance, that I really did believe that bold flavors belonged in America, that this would catch on. And I remember one night I went out to get a drink at the end of the night. I was sitting at a bar next to two couples, and there was one guy that was sitting there talking to his wife, and he says, Sally, I have never had an experience like that in a restaurant in my life. That bloomin' onion just sent me to heaven. Those spices on that steak were incredible. And I just looked at myself and I says, we're gonna make it. With that kind of word of mouth, I said, it's just a matter of time.